I would be home on the weekends and I'd be working outside in my yard in my perennial garden, and just, it was a beautiful day, and Christopher would be inside on the couch, and they both would be, and it's like, why are you inside? It's so beautiful. And then he would be sick. He wouldn't feel well, and I remember saying, you know, it's not normal for you to be like this. Do you have the flu? I mean, it's been going on for weeks, you know. And he was, you know, you could see he was upset because he didn't want me to take him to the doctor. Well, what it used to be is they would use on the weekend, and then they would be dope sick. They didn't want to use, but they would use, and then they would try to stop using, and then they would get dope sick. And so that's why they were inside on the couch, because they couldn't function. You can't tie them to a chair. You know, that's kind of what I wanted to do. Duct tape them to a chair for 30 days. You can't even lock them in your house, because these are young men, strong young men. It's like you can't really rationalize with a person that has an addiction, because they will sit there and they will say, I don't want to use, and they mean it. They don't want to use. I don't want to use. I won't use again, you know. But it's beyond their control. They cannot control it. It's beyond their ability to control it. It's a very hard position for a parent to be in when you know your child has this problem, and you know there's only 3 options. There's recovery, death, or incarceration. And I think one of the frustrating things, and I think now it's starting to change, is if your child ends up overdosing and ends up at the hospital, they will try to get him into a program at that point. Well, with my children, it didn't work that way. They overdose and end up in a hospital. You go and get them and they're released. It's like, it's been very hard. It's been very hard. I mean, if I said my children got onto drugs because they had a back operation and, you know, they got addicted, and, you know, maybe people would look at them with more sympathy or empathy. You know, I'm sure a lot of people will read this story and they'll say, you know, they got what was coming to them. You know, you just don't use drugs. But this is a whole learning experience for our society.